Okay, the World Cup has come and gone. South Africa has managed to walk away with the Webb Ellis Cup. They are the champions of the world. Over the last 3 days, I've been watching social media as well as a number of social media groups that I belong to, with one aim, and that was to see how long the Rugby World Cup victory Euphoria lasted. I remember in 1995, the day of the Rugby World Cup final, like it was yesterday. Let it be known that I have never been a rugby fan at all, and who wins the World Cup has really never meant anything to me personally. In 1995, I was still a young man at 27 years old who had less than zero interest in rugby. Motor racing was all I was interested in then and still is today. Rugby did not even feature for me. On the day of the World Cup final in 1995, I decided it would be a good idea to mow my lawns. I can remember my neighbor, who was a very good friend of mine, coming out of his house and threatening to do me some serious damage if I didn't switch off my lawnmower. This is how fanatical people were about rugby back then. I remember the streets being absolutely empty and the neighborhoods being absolutely silent except for the synchronized cheers from just about every single household in the streets. I remember driving to the filling station only to find it basically deserted while the staff watched the game in their little cubicle opposite the pumps. I had to beg them to come out and put some fuel into my car. The shopping centre parking lot, which was right next to the petrol station, was totally deserted. Anyone could have walked in and robbed the place with a BB gun and a pocket knife. After the game, there were cars driving all over the neighbourhood, blowing their hooters, with people hanging out of the windows shouting all sorts of cheers for the Springboks. You saw nothing else but photos and videos of people, both sober and some very drunk, in front of their television sets and at after parties going absolutely nuts. The nation was truly one for a brief period, although delusionally so. Everyone thought that the Rainbow Nation had truly materialized and that the problems facing South Africa were a thing of the past. Peace and prosperity were the only things to follow, or so they thought. Last weekend was the Rugby World Cup final. Once again, South Africa were in the final. The game was well played by the South African team, and as someone who knows less than nothing about rugby, I actually enjoyed watching it. At this point, I'd like to congratulate the South African team on a game well played and a tournament well won. There was, however, something missing though. Social media was not buzzing with people celebrating the victory. The streets were not filled with hysterical fans after the game. The shopping centre's parking lots still had plenty of cars in them during and after the game. By Monday morning, you would never have said that there had been a Rugby World Cup at all, never mind the fact that South Africa had won it. The protest destruction has carried on unabated without a break. There are trucks being burned every day. Today, I heard of an 80-year-old lady that was raped just hours after the Rugby World Cup final whistle had blown. Where has that Rainbow Nation enthusiasm gone? Instead, people went to entertainment venues armed, just in case the place got robbed. Instead, those that were not brave enough or who could not afford to go out to watch the game with all the costs that go with it, stayed at home, locked behind security bars just in case there was a home invasion. People did not go driving around in the streets with flags waving and hanging out of the windows, cheering on and carrying on. No, they stayed at home just in case they were hijacked. By Monday morning, the EFF clowns had already begun to talk bad about the South African rugby team, or should I rather say about the paler members of the team. Today I heard another EFF member has joined the mockery, in all his wisdom. The truth of the matter is that the minorities in South Africa in general have realized that the Rainbow Nation pipe dream is over. In fact, it was never going to be in the first place. It was a very cozy hood pulled over our heads and stayed there for the last 25 years. Luckily, it is now becoming evident that the majority of us have realized that it was all a farce. The rest will follow faster and faster now. Naturally, there will always be those that will simply refuse to see what lies in front of them for various reasons, the most common being the fact that life is just too comfortable for them right now. For those, I have very little sympathy or patience any longer. The only thing that makes these people see the light is when one of them or one of their own are raped, murdered, kidnapped, hijacked, robbed, etc. For these people, the saying, "Those who will not listen or see must feel." It's the only way they learn. Just hours after the final whistle, there were at least 2 farm attacks that I know of in the Nelspruit area. There was another farmer who drove himself to the hospital after being shot in the face by farm attacker terrorists. Yesterday and today, there have been multiple trucks burned in protests across the country. No, The Rugby World Cup did nothing this time to unite the nation, just like it did nothing in 2007, and just as it did nothing to unite the nation in 1995, although many were fooled into thinking that it had. It was nothing but a distraction for us, the minority, to get us to let our guards down and to let the enemy gain just a little more ground. It was an excuse for the minorities to lock themselves in their homes behind security systems and drink too much while they pretended to be happy, while they pretended that this country is a bed of roses. Surely by now it is clear that our lifestyle has been our downfall. Surely by now we would have realized that worshipping the sport gods, the traditional braai, brandy and coke, and beer is exactly what the communist-driven enemy had planned for us all along, and we fell for it hook, line and sinker. Well, some of us didn't, and we are spreading the word, educating people. My question is, what and how long is it going to take for the rest of us to realize that we are in very real danger of being wiped out here, whether it be by attrition or simply by mass murder, which, if you look at the history of the rest of the African continent, is the most likely. Please like and share this video on as many social media platforms as possible. It's the only way my message gets out there. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, click on the subscribe button right now. While you are there, click on the bell icon to get notified every time I upload new content. If you would like to support my channel, in the description field I have provided ways for both local as well as international subscribers to make a contribution. If you would like to make a crypto contribution, I've also provided both a Bitcoin as well as a Litecoin address. To those that do support my channel, I say a huge thank you. Be safe out there. Until next time.